Okay, today we have my Cascading Juniper. We're going to do some pruning on it today because it's grown a bit out of shape. This is my preferred front, with the cascade coming down along the side and then coming back a little bit. I think I'm going to finally decide where to chop this side off because you don't really want much. You don't want a really lot of the tree coming back over this way in a cascade. So I got way too much, but I hadn't decided on where I was going to cut it yet. So I mean, there's only one place I really see you can cut it is back to this, which should work because it's kind of going back. It should work better than what I got going here. We might keep some of this and see if we can make a gin out of it. So we'll start cutting this stuff back. Get rid of this. Okay, let's let that second go. Okay. So see how that looks now. Yeah, it doesn't go as far off this way, which is better, but I don't think I'm liking this stuff in the front here. I think some of it's got to go. I'm not sure what yet. This is going to go, I'm sure. So we'll add that to make possibly part of the gin. And then this one's going to go because it's in a bad place and it's kind of growing out this way where we don't want stuff anyways. I still think I want more of that off there. Yeah, so what we got here. I'm going to take this side off. And then we're also going to take this off because we don't want this growing out further. I want that more going back. I'm going to actually cut this back some here too. Yeah, I'm going to trim that off. So that's looking, yeah, it's looking much better. Gotta clean some of the stuff in here out because it's just kind of in close to the main branch in here. I want that left, I think, because I need something to fill in this area a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off because it's growing into the inside of the tree. And right now I'm just trying to get out I'm doing the kind of some preliminary cutting of major things that need to be cut out. We have to clean some of this off, at least. I've always been unsure of this branch, this whole pad, but I think I want to keep it, but I think I'm going to get rid of this back branch. So it gives you more look at stuff, because I want the other gin to be seen. trying to see what I want to do here. Okay. Trying to decide if we even need this. I'm thinking this might be able to go in favor of seeing the trunk more. We got stuff here. We don't need something that high. I'm not trying to make this a big blob on the top. Okay, let me get the branch cutters for that. That's big enough to warrant the branch cutters to clean it up. Okay, this branch just kind of grows into the other branch, so I don't need it. I don't need the little one next to it. I'm hoping this is starting to get some good surface roots, because then we can lift it a little, and I may be shifting it just a little bit when I repot it, just to give this a little more of an angle over than it has. Yeah, I'm liking that better. We get some look of the trunk in here, and then it comes down to here. Okay, there's some dead stuff in here on the inside parts of some branches. This is a dead branch. Oh no, that's that. No, that's just growing into this branch. So we'll let this develop on its own without that in there. I think we will get rid of this one, because we've got a lot of close branches up here. Clean that one up a little more. Clean that one up a little more. That's clean. Clean that one up a little more too. Yeah. So I'm liking that. We can turn this into a pad. I'm going to get rid of this back here to give some room in here. There we go. And then we'll develop that into its pad. That'll be a pad. This will be a pad. This will probably be, I don't know, a couple pads, but I'm thinking... I'm thinking this can go too. This is kind of just shooting up anyways. Don't really need something shooting up here. So we'll get rid of that, I think. Got 3 branches down here right together. I'm going to take the middle one out and give some room. I'll take this part of that out. And a little dead branch in here. And I just generally try to get in here and clean the old needles out with my fingers. I find once they've dried up, because they'll die off in the inside later down the road. And you don't want them. You don't want needles close down the trunk. It looks immature. If you want it to look mature, you don't want needles down the thing, but they'll eventually die back, and they're easier just to wait until then and kind of just I think I'm going to start down here. I'm trying not to chop a lot off anymore, because I've started to get a decent I'm starting to get a decent Get some ones in the center here out that are growing kind of in and aren't going to do much for the overall shape of this pad. This one's kind of growing underneath, so we don't need that one. Let's see. That's interfering with another branch. These can be back here. What I'm going to generally do here is just try to get anything that's way out of, trim back most of the stuff that's way out of whack, that's long, so we can hopefully get them to divide and get some more ramification in here. Here on the tip, I'm just going to need to clean some stuff out. I'm going to take this one out in favor of this one here. I'm going to trim back that that's growing in. There's two little branches on this that are growing into this branch. We can get rid of them. Get rid of that one too. We've got something that can grow in there pretty good. Now this has a division on it, but it's too far out, I think, so I'll just chop that out. Chop that off. Chop that off. Now in the past I have really chopped this back, but we were still working on the basic shape of it, so okay, I'm going to get rid of this out of here. This shouldn't be as extreme of cuts that I've made in the past. Trimmings, prunings. I think I'm going to get rid of this to let this stuff grow up. This definitely has to be trimmed back. It's kind of growing with the other one. And we're just going to cut off some of the ends there. Cut off some of this back here. Okay, there was just some branches that are going to either conflicting with other stuff or going to, so they might as well just be removed now. Get some of those dead needles off here. Some more of the dead needles. Some more of these. Okay. This is kind of growing back on the cascade, so we'll get rid of that. Clean some of these lower ones out. And then, again, clean some of these needles out of here. And there's a dead piece. Now I scissor out most of this stuff because I just think it works. It's easier and it looks better. I always have brown stuff if I pinch out. I usually get a lot of browning. Takes a little more to do this way, but I think it gives you better. I think it gives you better results. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm going to cut this one going back. It's kind of leggy. Leggy with a lot of stuff on it. A big pom-pom in the end. So I think it really works. This is kind of growing. Okay, let's clean that up first. We just cut off, clean that up. We can cut this off because it's kind of going underneath everything. There's a small branch to take, the one we removed. Just trim its back, clean some stuff up in here. Okay, now on this side we got way too many branches. I'll take this one out that's got a counterpart on the other side. It's a bar branch. I think we'll keep this small one and take these bigger ones. Because they're more weedy, more leggy. They're not as good for what I want to do with them. What I'm trying to do here. Okay, we'll cut the end of this one off. And then we're going to trim up the ends. So, we're going to get rid of this branch off this one here that comes out here. We're going to get rid of this branch and this half dead one. Clean something up on the other side as good as I should. Okay, I'm going to get rid of a bunch of little ones that are growing inwards on other branches. This one's growing in the crotch of the branch, and then I'm going to try to get some of these dead needles off. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, we're going to take another branch off of this, and I think a third one. That's good. Get rid of some of these ones that are growing in on the other branch. This is kind of, that'll be shortened. This will be shortened. Sorry, I'm swatting at a bug that's bugging me. Okay, trying to get some of this dead needles out of here. Yeah, these, I mean, they're a little less, they're going to, whenever you clip them, they're going to be less to them, of course, but they're not as, I'm not doing these as bare as I did the last couple times I did this. They still have a basic shape, they just need to be filled in more. Like this one's got the basic shape, it just needs to be filled in more, and you can only do that by clipping back and getting some ramification over time. I think still need some stuff clipped back here. Hey. This stuff's kind of growing under now that I look at it. That back. This is kind of growing, yeah, it's growing from the bottom. I should take that off. Four. That's growing from the bottom. Okay. Now this is a pad I've always had a little bit of trouble with. I didn't like it before, but it's not looking too bad now. It's developed out some. I do got to remove some of this stuff. Like, I'm going to get rid of this branch here altogether. We're going to chop the end off of that one, and then we're going to trim a lot of these ends. The rest. I think I'm going to get rid of some of these ones over here. Oh no, we are going to remove this branch. This branch is kind of... no, we're going to remove this. Oh, this one's dead anyways. This is dead underneath. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Caught that. I almost cut off my good branch. So I'm paying attention good. This is kind of growing under. This is growing under. And then back. This is also growing under. Okay, this is kind of growing into that branch there, so it's not going to work. This is going to grow into there, so then we got one down in the, oh no, that's already cut off. Got a bunch here. I don't think I need this one. The way this is growing, these will kind of fill in that area better. Okay. Let's chop the top end off of that. And this one. This one underneath, and a couple under here. Some more underneath stuff. Okay, so clean up this stuff better. Yeah, it's looking better. It's getting there. I may wire this back a little bit. I kind of would like it here, so I'm gonna get some wire. I don't need too big a wire. I'm thinking this thin stuff will work, and I'll just bring it down. I'll anchor it to the one above it. And we might need to move this one a little bit anyways, so who knows. I kind of yeah, and that brings it a little more back. I think that looks better. So let's get started on this one. This is kind of growing down, so we can get rid of this altogether. Clean it up a little better there. I'm just gonna clean out some of the stuff on the top here. It's just too many branches competing with each other here. I think I will get rid of this one. This one seems to be growing underneath, along with this one. And there's a couple small ones under here. Leave that one. I do believe I'm going to try to bring this one down a little bit. It's already got this natural funky spot here, so make that a bend down. I think will work better. Okay. Get some of this conflicting stuff out of here. Okay, I'm going to clip that one back and leave it there though. These are kind of growing underneath, so they will go. This one's kind of growing underneath too, so it'll go. These that's kind of growing underneath too. Okay, chop a little off that one. Okay. Okay, and there's basically all the cascade. I mean, this is technically on the cascade, but it's more of the top of the cascade. So let's look at this. I think we're going to just make this the pad and get rid of this. This kind of comes back in, and again, I want to show some of this part. This is what I want to show in here. So we just need to chop some stuff back here. Some underneath stuff again. Just clip that there. Some of these dead needles off. Trim that back, and trim that back. Underneath piece there. Okay, next we'll get all these growing underneath to start with. This is kind of, okay, that's already pulled out. It's kind of dead. Chop some of that off. Okay, got some stuff in here. It's just kind of in the way of other stuff. It's just too much stuff in here. So clean some of these ones in the center out more. I think we'll cut this out, these out. They're kind of in the wrong place anyways. So clean this up a little better. We'll cut this out. Put these back. And cut that off altogether. Okay, I do want to bring this down some, try to bring this down some more. Just because it'll be more visible with this one here. Okay, let's get start. This one needs to be thinned out some. Yeah, that looks better with that piece off there. It was hanging out too much over the other stuff. I'm gonna remove it. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this. One, we need some room in here. Two, we need some. We can let some of the other stuff grow in to that area later. If you look here, I'm just trying to. Generally, we're gonna leave a little bit of a hole in the center, but that will give room for other stuff to kind of grow into that area later. This is kind of just glowing up into the other one, so I'm gonna just move it here and let it grow up this way. Move this back one here. Try to get rid of some of this. He's dead. Okay, pinching off a little shoot there. Again, just trying to get some of this dead needles off. I'm not worried about getting them all off yet. In the future, if I was showing the tree, I'd want to take a little time getting rid of more of them, but this tree is not ready for showing, and I'm not going to really have any place to show trees this year anyway. So. Okay, this is kind of growing underneath. So we can get that out of there. Give this other place over here some room by taking that out of there. Turn those back. So just kind of conflicting with that. Trim this back. This is growing straight down, so we don't need that. Clean stuff out of here. And just okay, we don't need this little one here. It's too close to the main branch. This is kind of growing under. This is a dead piece over here. Okay, there's one here. It's kind of in the crotch. It's not needed. This is dead. So one dead here. Start getting some more stuff here. Okay, this stuff's kind of growing underneath. Okay, let's get this at the center here. Clean this up a little bit. Get a couple branches out of the middle here. I think this one will go too. this from front. I think this is going to be chopped back. We don't need this so tall. Need that coming out so far. There's that. Then we just got to work on these end pieces. I think I'm going to cut this back to this little piece back here and develop that. I'm going to develop this because I don't want that much in front. So, and then it'll kind of, whatever we develop over here. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now we're going to work on this. Just bought some gin pliers. I've used them a couple times. I think they're a little easier than using a pair of I was using needle nose pliers. I think they're a little, like anything in bonsai, you can use something else. But I will tell you, the actual bonsai tools tend to be a little easier because they're made for what you're actually trying to do. I lived with regular pliers for a long time to cut wire. But I can tell you, a pair of proper bonsai ones, when you can get them, they're worth it because they don't. You're not as likely to dig into your into the tree when you're cutting the wire off. I've cut into the tree many a times with a regular pair of pliers, being the carefulest I can. I don't think I've once cut into them with a pair of bonsai ones, because the bonsai ones are made with really blunt ends instead of more pointy ends. Even the most blunt ones, I had a pair that were pretty blunt, regular ones, but they weren't as blunt as the bonsai ones ended up being. And the end works a lot better at grabbing the wood. Okay. Be a weird spot in there because camera died. Well, the time limit was up. Here, I'm just gonna try to rip the end a little bit. twisting can sometimes help you get it to do what you want it to do too, I find. Because if this was natural, this would, this would eventually, this would just break off. And that's how you'd get the ends. They just kind of break off on you. So pulling it back gives it a more realistic look of being broken off. And I will tell you, you will get much better results out of making your gins when they're fresh than trying to do it on old wood. You will have a hard time getting the bark off once it's dried out. And also, if you had a gin that's wet, just like anything else, you can wire it and it wouldn't hurt it. Okay, so there's what we have now. I'll rotate it to show the whole thing. As I said, I mean, it's way down from what it was when it started, but if you're going to prune it, yeah, it will be. That's what we got until next time. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you next time.